Well, the original goal was to have this video ready for March 4th, and that was a failure on all counts. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to Music Major Vlogs. Happy belated March 4th, which for those of you who don't know is National Marching Band Day. You get it? March 4th. March 4th. I'll stop now. A couple weeks ago I thought, what could I do for March 4th this year? Because last year I did a Disney marching band meme video that I still can't believe hasn't gotten taken down. Also, I love how I can stare at myself at the end of that video and go, oh honey, you have no idea what's coming in just a few short days. Anyway, I was thinking of what I could do, and I remembered the Eric Whitacre virtual choir project that I participated in last summer. You should totally check out, by the way, it's a great song. And I thought, why not do something similar with band? Now, I knew this was going to be an ambitious project from the start, and since I came up with the idea less than 2 weeks ago, I knew that I wasn't going to get anything done before March 4th. So I thought, why not make March 4th the kickoff date for this project? I wasn't sure if enough people were going to be interested in order to pull it off, though, so that's why I put up that poll on my community tab last week, and a lot more people than I expected said they might be interested, so here we go. Welcome to Virtual Band 2021. It's probably been a while since a lot of you have played in an actual ensemble, and while this could never replace that, I hope that this can create that same sense of a common goal. Alright, I'm gonna get into some details now, so buckle up, pay attention, and take notes. What are we gonna be playing? Well, since it is the month of March, I figured why not do a march? So we're gonna be playing The Thunderer by John Philip Sousa. I chose this because, one, since a march is all one tempo, it makes it easier to put together remotely, and two, yay, we love things in the public domain! You can find a link to a recording as well as the sheet music in the description down below. There's gonna be a lot down there today. I would highly suggest printing the music out if you're able instead of reading it off of a device. Now, I know I've got some younger players out there, and by younger I don't necessarily mean by age, I just mean in amount of experience. I'm just gonna warn you now, this may be a little bit of a challenge for you guys, especially those of you in middle school. This is, in my opinion, one of the easiest Sousa marches, but I've really geared this more toward high school players. However, I highly encourage you to give it a try. One of the best ways to learn is by pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and there's a lot you could learn from this. Next, instrumentation. Despite the fact that a lot of people answered yes to the poll on my community tab, not as many people filled out the Google survey that was attached to it. That's alright, no need to feel badly about it, but I still need to get an idea of who and what I'm getting. I've created a Google spreadsheet that I've linked down in the description, and I've listed out all of the parts in this arrangement. If you're planning on participating, what I need you to do is go into that spreadsheet and list your name under the part that you're going to submit a recording of. And if you don't want to put your last name, then first name and last initial is fine. The reason I'm doing it this way rather than creating another survey is so that you guys can see who else has signed up and what spots are filled. And I'm hoping this will help fill out all the parts. I'll use French horn as an example just because that's what I know best. Say you go in thinking you're going to submit a recording of the first horn part, but then you see that nobody has signed up for the third horn part. In that case, maybe it would be nice if you considered taking that spot instead. Can you submit more than one recording on more than one instrument? Yes. However, in the interest of getting as many people as possible to participate, I'm only planning to grant each person one spot in the final video unless I find that I'm short on a certain part. So if you sign up for more than one part, you need to indicate on the spreadsheet which one you want me to prioritize by putting a star next to your name. I will try to honor those preferences as best I can. I'm not going to limit how many people can sign up for a part, but there are a few parts that I am only going to select one recording for the final video. Those parts are going to include piccolo, E-flat clarinet, E-flat cornet, if anybody feels like being that extra, solo cornet, bass drum, and cymbals. If you submit recordings for any of those parts, you need to submit at least one other recording to guarantee yourself a spot in the final video. If I get more than one of any of those, I'm going to select whichever one is best, and if I don't select yours, please don't take it personally. And no, you're not getting special privilege if you're my friend in real life. I will get somebody to judge them blind if I have to. So now we've picked a part, how do we record? There are a couple ways that you could do this. I have created click tracks that you can play along to. You can use the full band track, or you can use the track where your part is highlighted. All those videos will be unlisted on my channel, and they are linked down below. Side note, the click track is a computer-generated MIDI, so take everything you're hearing with a grain of salt. If you're looking for something to emulate, listen to the actual recording. And if you don't want to use one of the click tracks, you can use your own metronome. We're playing at 120 beats per minute. My only thing with that is you've got to make sure you count your rests correctly, or else it won't line up. And yes, I know playing with a metronome is highly really annoying and frustrating, but it's the only way I'm gonna be able to line all of this up, so yes, you have to use a metronome of some kind. So when you record your video, you wanna make sure you're recording somewhere quiet. Preferably try to make sure there's not a whole lot in your background that's too distracting, and definitely make sure that there's nothing inappropriate in your background or I cannot use that video. You have to use headphones with the click track or metronome so it can't be heard in the video. And you might need 2 different devices to film you and play the click track depending on what you're using. And filming on your phone is fine, but make sure you try to film landscape instead of portrait, so make sure you turn your phone on its side. The way the click tracks are set up, you get 12 beats from the metronome before you come in. You listen to the first 4 beats to get the tempo. Then on the next 4 beats, you will say out loud, ta, 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 ta. Then you will rest the last 4 beats before you come in. The tas are there to help me line up all of the videos at the end, so I do need that in there at the beginning. That was a lot of talk, but let me show you an example. First, this is what the click tracks will look like. Ta, 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 ta. That's what you'll have going in your ears. The video you send in should look and sound something like this. Ta, 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 ta. You get the picture. I know this sounds like a lot, but it's the only way that this can work, so I appreciate you all taking the time to do this properly. Finally, how will you submit these videos to me? We are going to be using an app called Flipgrid, which some of you might be using in your schools. You will have to enter a code to join my class, and I will put that code on the screen right now. By the way, I'm listed in there as Miss Fox. That's only because this is the same account I'm using for student teaching, so pay it no mind. I will have separate spots to submit recordings for each part. At the time of filming, I haven't set that up yet, but I'm hoping to have that done very soon. You can either upload a video to submit, or you can record a response directly in Flipgrid. You do not need to create an account to join the class, but it will ask you to log into Google to submit a recording. And that should be that. If there are any other issues with that later on, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing either. Only other thing, by submitting a video, you are giving me permission to have your face and recording in the final video, which may sound like stating the obvious, but especially since a lot of you are probably minors, I have to be extra careful with that. And of course, the deadline. I'm a band kid. I know that band kids like to procrastinate. The deadline to submit your video is going to be noon Eastern time on Wednesday, March 31st, which should hopefully give you all plenty of time to practice and record your parts. Now, I haven't talked about the actual music yet. If you've been looking at the music while I've been talking, you'll notice there are some confusing markings on it. John Philip Sousa made a lot of changes to his pieces when they were performed, but never actually notated those changes. So what this music has done is it's written how it was written originally, with the normal performance practices written there in brackets. Katie, I'm noticing the timestamp on this video is getting pretty close to the end. You're gonna go through and clarify all this in more detail, right? Yes. But not in this video, because that would be too much all at once. So here's what's gonna happen. I am gonna go live here on YouTube, and I will go through the music and all of the little changes and confusing looking brackets. That way, if you guys have questions, you can type them to me in the live chat and I can answer them there. If you can't watch at that time, no worries. The stream will be recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube as a video, and you will need to watch that video to get those clarifications. And if you have other questions after the stream, you can just type them to me in the comments and I will try to answer them as best I can. In the meantime, I encourage you to print out the music and start looking at it. You will definitely need to have the music in front of you during the stream. There are some program notes at the beginning of the PDF that I highly encourage you all to read, especially you, Percussion. I'm really looking forward to this, and I just hope I'm not biting off more than I can chew. So until next time, if you like this video, you should give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell for more from me. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.